Welcome back to this week's Off the Record DJ podcast. Today I have scoured, is that still a word? Scoured the internet for the DJ's most asked questions. We're going to answer how to not feel overwhelmed when you're just starting out, how to begin your DJ journey, how to hunt for music other than on Soundcloud, what to do and prepare for your first gig, DJ setups and everything in between. Let's go.
Let's go.
Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Welcome back to this week's Off the Record podcast. The hangover is just about gone from Parklife. Yours wasn't because you didn't drink.
Didn't drink.
Because you was ill.
I was ill. I made it.
But you had a good time.
Oh, I had a great
Fair
time.
play.
Yeah.
Like, this guy made it.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
drip white 2 days earlier.
Yeah. I'm glad I made
And
it.
in hospital, like,
Yeah.
and then you're like, no, I can't miss out. So fair play. Well
Yeah.
done. Did you enjoy it though?
Oh, it was great. I had
Yeah?
a great time.
It
yeah.
was
good.
great.
Yeah.
Wasn't
It
it
was good fun.
I've never not had a good time.
My first Parklife. Yeah.
Was it?
Not been to it before, but I enjoyed it.
I feel like you didn't get the best Parklife ever.
No.
It was weird. So Parklife, if you wasn't here by the way, last week we all went to Parklife Festival, team trip. Me and Jamie have been every year for a few years, and it is just a really, really, really good festival. Still good this year. Who was on? Pausa, Mochak, 50 Cent was headlining the day that we went. Good friend Joe LaBelle was in the Jaeger Bomb tent. Who
Scream
else
and
was on?
Benga.
Scream and Benga.
And then there was like all the garage guys like Interplanetary Criminal,
Notion.
YUQT, Notion.
So here's the thing.
4am
Yeah.
crew.
So here's the thing. This year we walked in and it was smaller than it usually is. So they got rid of a big, massive stage, basically the size of a main stage. That wasn't there. They moved the VIP bit where we was into the middle, which was good because you could see the main stage from where the VIP was, which you couldn't before. But that meant that they got rid of a stage somewhere. So there was that. And then I got to about 6 o'clock and it seemed like all of the music was very similar.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was very basically like UK garage everywhere.
Yeah.
And that was highlighted when we went from we wanted a bit of a reprieve from this music, even though we love that music, don't get us wrong, but 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
So then we went to see Mochak. We thought, great. Let's go see his smiley face and his big tash. Get some Latin vibes.
Yeah.
And let's just, chill for a bit. And then he was playing Wobblers.
Like 140 BPM bassliney stuff.
Yeah.
It was like totally out there.
Yeah.
And different. And while we were watching him, and after like 3 or 4 songs, we're like, what's going on? Like,
What is
what is he
happening?
playing? Like, why is he playing this sort of stuff? And then he kind of just stopped that set.
Yeah.
And then started
His own
set, like,
Yeah.
like his usual set.
Yeah.
And it kind of picked up a bit then, but it was almost like he thought, how do I play to this crowd? Which is good as a DJ. He's thinking like, oh, I'm at a certain festival. Who are the kind of crowd there? He's probably got some feedback. He maybe had a walk around the festival and like, oh, maybe I should test some of this other stuff and alter my set slightly. And I don't think it quite worked. But fair play for him for trying to see if he needed to play differently.
He was trying to be what a DJ is. He's obviously stuff's not working. Look at my crowd. Okay, this is the crowd that's here. I know. Look at the lineup.
Yeah.
It's all this. Let me go into it. He's obviously probably rung Sammy Virgie on his way, and he's like, right, what are the big garage tracks?
Yeah. You're right though. There was a lot of songs that I heard over and over during the day at different stages. Yeah. But no, it was good.
But it was good. Like it's still really, really good. And yeah, it was just a good festival in general. And then I've being a hip hop guy, 50 Cent was amazing. Very drunk by that point. And then we got back to Leeds about midnight, and Jamie said, "Should we go for one more drink?" And that was 4 hours later.
I rarely go out now with 2 kids at home.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was one of those days and
Dad's
nights.
out.
So I was like, yep, I am not on parent duty. It's Father's Day
let's
tomorrow,
go.
so it's my day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But a good do. Good shout out to there was quite a few Crossfader fans there as well. So shout out if we bumped into you at Parklife. But always we'll probably be there next year. But yeah, interesting. Like a festival DJ set was usually when you go see a festival act, you've kind of got you probably know what they're going to play. But it was interesting seeing Mochak trying to adapt to a set because that's not usually you got a festival you think it's going to be busy, I can plan my set, I know what I'm going to do, but it's nice to know that there's DJs there like flipping the script or something.
Something else that I wanted to bring up as well is the very noticeable difference between the DJs that were playing a lot of SoundCloud edits and the DJs like Scream and Benga that were playing a lot of obvious music that's come straight out the studio.
Yes.
And it definitely sounded different.
It did.
It had like just energy and power that it's not that the other songs didn't create a vibe, it was an absolute vibe, but from a sound quality perspective, I could tell.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
When they came on, I was like, this sounds much punchier, cleaner, like fuller.
Yeah.
And then when you've got the other DJs earlier in the day that have obviously like maybe ripped a load of tunes or just got, up and coming producers that haven't maybe gone through the whole mix and mastering process in studios, as soon as you put them on a big festival sound system, sounds good, but when you compare it to the next DJ who's definitely, using those high quality tunes, it is noticeable.
It is interesting because until there's probably DJs there maybe earlier on in the build that just don't really get that, don't really understand the nuances of that, and I'm not super geeky about audio and things like that, but anytime, and it's the bigger it gets, the more you hear it, isn't it?
Yeah. So you don't get much bigger than a festival sound
course,
system.
Yeah. But if you're doing if you're coming up and you've got a few gigs and you're getting a bit of hype or stuff, you've probably done 100 cap, 200 cap clubs where it's almost like, it almost even feels even better that the songs are a bit muddy and it's a bit like rough and ready. And then when you get on that stage, you're like, oh, wait a minute. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, maybe try and...
Screaming Benga had some tunes, by the way. Dubstep is coming back, I think.
I'm so here
I love Benga's entry because the Scream started and then Benga just came on like 10 minutes later. Didn't he?
Yeah, we were all there like, where's Benga? Like kicking off.
I wanted him to do that Fisher thing where he just comes out of the
ceiling. Yeah.
And then as it drops, as night drops, he just like gun fingers everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had some tunes, and I love we had from, like I said, there's a lot of similar music, and you could kind of guess what a DJ was going to play. But with that one, there wasn't a song that I knew, and it was like, this is sick.
All IDs,
all probably just their own tracks.
Yeah, 100%.
For like the last 2 months.
Yeah. I hope there's like an album coming because they had some like really good vocal tracks as well. Like it wasn't just like drop heavy dubstep. There was like some good strong vocals,
big atmospheric like breakdowns in it.
Yeah.
But then with still that like intense.
Yeah,
140
definitely
BPM.
radio worthy tunes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, there was all the eras. There was like stripped back bass. Then there was like Skrillex in your face.
Yeah,
and then there was like anthemic dubstep.
Yeah, a bit
and
of Magnetic Man.
A bit of techno
style,
as well. He played a bit of 4/4, didn't he? Like
there's a couple of tunes in there.
A few like techno tunes. So,
very good. I had a great
sound,
time.
I'd love to get them to him.
I mean, it helped that we were right at the front as well.
We got right to
front
the
center,
right to the front. Jamie grabbed the people filming the whole Parklife, like a long-term friends of ours who used to be in Leeds, a guy called Tom Hagen. He's like in charge of like the filming of Parklife, and he just at the front, and Jamie he just went, take the camera. So Jamie's got hold of this like
Massive
10 grand camera, and he's just like,
pointing it at their face.
I really hope you're in the after movie of that.
Front and center in the after movie.
I was thinking because she was so drunk, I was like, don't drop it. So expensive that gear, but yeah.
Was it your favourite set of the weekend then, Screaming Benga then too?
I think so.
Yeah, for me, definitely.
I think it was
But then
everybody's.
pause it because I was like well and truly pissed by that point, but in a good way, like just really good pissed. And Parser played Midland final.
Final credits.
Final credits.
And that's my favourite tune, like of all time.
Yeah.
Pretty much, as well as Lovebirds Want You in My Soul. So I've never heard it on that huge sound system before, especially that big. So it was just a moment
good
for me. I was like, oh,
the absolute vibe.
So I won't forget that.
Yeah. Obviously 50 Cent was just, it's 50 Cent. It's hard to, I just spent the time going, I can't believe he's just there. He's right there. And then he turned up at the Chris Brown show like the day after. So
Is that the first time you've seen him?
No, I went to the farewell tour.
Oh, right.
And again, I thought I was just like, I can't believe he's here. I really, on the train, I was like, imagine he just turns up with Dex and just does a house set.
Spoke to Mochak, and Mochak's like, I think it's bass today.
Because Drake did a house album. I'd love for 50
Yeah,
Cent just be like,
yeah.
I'm just going to do a house album, just go to
Ushuaia
for the week.
We played a good housey edit last
We
week
did.
on the podcast.
So many
of
people
50
asked
Cent,
what
didn't
that
they?
was. We need to post where that was.
So he obviously sounds pretty good over house, like, you know. If you're listening 50, then
Busta
try
Rhymes
house.
most of them have done a few. The Busta Rhymes did a few remember that Busta Rhymes house era? Who did he do a few tunes with back in the day?
Tiesto.
He did the Tiesto
This was like
tune.
2012 or something like that. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a couple of Tiesto tunes and Diplo as well.
Diplo,
Yeah.
that was it, yeah. Okay.
Should we talk about some DJ?
It's all
Yeah.
DJ related. We've just basically gone through our Discord, gone through Reddit, and just pulled a load of random questions. So it's basically a random Q&A episode, which is good because you kind of, whoever you are listening, you'll probably hopefully get some value from the random stuff we're going to talk about. So it's all from like equipment, tune hunting, and getting first gigs. First one is first proper gig booked. Now what do I do? I managed to get myself a gig. Yeah. Now what?
Whoa.
Will you do this gig? Yeah, mate. Yeah. What? 300 quid? Yeah. Cool. Okay. I need to get some decks. We've all done them gigs though. Like, if you don't play the genre, like, you play like pop and stuff, don't you? Lots? Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah. I'll be there. When is it? Tonight? Yeah, no worries. Shit.
Panic downloading.
I think I said this, but I remember turning up to him. This guy was like, mate, can you come and do us a gig right now? Like, honestly, I'll pay you. Like, whatever you want, I'll pay. I was like, mate, yeah, cool. I'm in my car. I got there. It was like a super sweet 16th birthday party. I was like, fuck. And I just wanted like hard house. Like, imagine Fairground. I was like, what am I going to do? Just literally luckily I was on like Beatport or something. I was like, cool. You type in what you want. I'll just press play. And also, just sorry to go off a tangent. When you know when someone comes and asks for a song and you go, yeah, cool, and you've probably got no intention of playing it. When a 16-year-old, there was some like 14-year-old kids there and stuff, when they ask you for a song, they stand and wait.
Oh, wow.
They're like, I've got nowhere to be. Like, yeah, I'll wait. Yeah. Right, got my first gig booked. What do I do? So I managed to get myself a gig booked for September. Someone at my work wanted a DJ for his daughter's birthday. Here we go. And didn't want to spend loads of cash. So I offered my services, bearing in mind I haven't DJed for about 2 years. I'm confident and I can get back my abilities back up to scratch within the next few months, but I'm still pretty nervous. The decks that I'm currently using for my bedroom are the Numark Mixtrack Pro 2. Super old and definitely not what I would want on stage. First question is, what do I do next? The second question is about the sound system. Also, so he has to bring the whole rig. Oh, wow. Right, interesting. So, do I rent a set of speakers? I haven't rang the venue yet to confirm that they have speakers, so I suppose that's the first step. But regardless, I'd like to know if renting a sound system is worth it. It's class that you've got like Reddit for this stuff, haven't you? Because usually you'd be ringing around like your mates and stuff like, people picking up the phone to ask for help is gone. Nobody does that.
What I find funny about this is that he's trying to help a mate out with no like assistance in that aid. Like he's like, yeah, I can help you out, but I don't have the right gear. I don't have the right, equipment. I don't know anything about the venue. I haven't even DJed for 2 years, but I'll help you out.
Just trying to be a good mate.
I love that. The intention.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But then it's like exactly like he's saying. I'm trying to help someone out, but actually, can I even help them out?
They send people in just circles, maybe just like in like a corporate life. But you made DJ'd one time like 3 years ago, so surely you can like it's like riding a bike, isn't it? This venue will hold around 100 people. I've got a decent amp. I've got a decent amp-looking speaker, but I don't know if it'll be able to fill a room of 100 people. Third question relates to general prep. Obviously, getting a good set together is step one. Practice it day and night, I'm guessing. But then what? Lights, tablecloth. Are these things actually a need, or am I overthinking it? I even started panic making flyers and posters with my socials on them. I mean, right, we'll come back. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure it's as good as it possibly can be with minimal mistakes. I'm not charging a lot of money, but I'm going to ask a bunch of pictures for content and stuff. Hopefully, it starts a domino effect. Now that's different, right? Okay. Who wants to start here? He's got 3 steps on it.
Yeah. So he's looking at this as an opportunity to kickstart something.
I feel like he's
sort of
thought about it as an opportunity as he's ended this thing. He's I'll do it for a bit. Actually, shall I start this as a career?
I suppose something's triggered inside him and he's gone, once he said yes to something, he's realised all the things that go into it and he's gone, actually, this kind of maybe excites me a little bit. Something interesting for me to get my teeth into. So then he's like, well, okay, maybe I do need to buy some speakers. Maybe I want to make something of this. And that's where this questioning has come about because he's made it bigger than the actual thing is. Yeah. Because he's turned it into, this is actually potentially a launch pad, the thing that's going to create the domino effect. So I want to make this one really good. Going back to the gear, I think the Numark Mixtrack Pro 2, you need to really figure out, especially a lot of people out there that have these entry level controllers that don't have like high quality professional outputs. If you've just got an RCA output, it's unbalanced, which means you're not going to get like a real
Scream and Bengal wasn't playing on it, was it?
Exactly. Yeah. You're not going to get the audio quality or power. Ultimately, it's the power or to connect to a larger speaker setup. But if you're just playing, I would say if you're playing to 30 people or less,
It's 100. This.
yeah. So the 100 people, you need something,
Something
powerful,
decent.
right?
Yeah, decent. Yeah.
Like a decent sized speaker,
Yeah.
and that speaker will have XLRs. It'll have a balanced connection, and that's where you start looking at why controllers or DJ equipment gets a bit more expensive, is because they have the sound card in there
Yes.
that is built into the unit, which sends that large power output out of it.
Yeah, and there's also, which I find with events, is that there's also the backup issue, and I just mean like your music. So if you what I always like to have is a possibility to have USB and laptop, just total backup. Because if you're doing a wedding or something and your laptop crashes or your USB formats or whatever, I just like the extra backup.
Yeah.
So there's that, isn't there? If it's just got,
Yeah.
if you can just use your laptop, you might be like, ooh.
But that's where maybe if they put their money into the speaker setup that has a Bluetooth connection, they could always fall back onto just playing stuff off the phone.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
Even just getting an algorithm
Just
DJ and just
something,
doing some like auto mixing on that.
Yeah, so
You know.
he's obviously having a question with himself of like, if I rent some speakers, it's probably going to cost me maybe £100, £200, whatever. But if I buy some, I have them, and then if I get this again, then I don't have to buy some. So this is where he's having this.
But then you can always test it. You go, okay, can I just bake in to the cost of me providing these services, the rental of the speakers, explain that to the people, like, look, if you're going to want some music, you're going to need speakers. You're going to have to pay for them regardless.
Yeah.
So bake that in to test the waters and go, did I actually enjoy doing this gig for this girl's birthday or whatever? And do I want to do this long term? Because if you go buy all the speakers, then you go do it and you go, that was a nightmare. That was super stressful. Actually, I don't want this. And now you've got some $2,000 speakers sat in your room. Like,
He said at the end, TLDR, which decks to buy next? I've got £150 budget. Do I need? Do I need to rent a sound system for 100 people? So So I mean, if he's on budget, like obviously you're gonna have to rent speakers. You're gonna have to go back to your boy and be like, look, I'm not charging you much for this, so I'm not gonna be at a loss. It's £100 to rent the speakers. It's on you, or you can pay me the £100 or whatever. But if you don't do that, you're gonna have to go book another actual DJ, and they're gonna charge you. So it's like someone's paying for it. Simple as that. But what decks? You're not gonna buy decks with £150 budget that you need for this. No. The Mix Track Pro 2 is probably more than £150 now anyway.
Maybe,
do you know what I mean? So and it's like, if you wanted to get back in and whatever and see it, you've started to think through of like, if I do this party, you get some content, then for the next one, you need to just start thinking about it being an investment. And if you do go and buy yourself, say you buy yourself a £350 controller, £500 controller, there's a Mix Stream Pro Go there. What's that? £700, whatever it is. You might be like, okay, I'll actually put a bit of money in this and try and get some gigs. The DJ setups hold their value pretty well, so you're not going to lose out on money. You could probably sell it, 6 months after and not make a big loss. So it's not a big risk, but it's just like what you want to do. You're kind of talking yourself into being like, because he's then saying, what about lights, table? I mean, tablecloth is deep, but like
I had this issue with my own wedding, right? Because we had to provide the equipment and everything, and we had everything here at Crossfader, thankfully. Great, I'm really grateful for that. But what we didn't have was lighting. We don't really do lighting here, and there's some stuck behind us, but they're not really like event lighting. It's not something you'd go take to a party to create a bit of atmosphere. It was literally like down to the last few days. I was like, do you know what? I was gonna just be like, we don't need lighting, but I'm glad. What I did is I got the gig bar, which is basically like an all-in-one lighting package that just stands behind a DJ, and it has just, you attach a few lights to it, and it's just like automated to the music. Nothing fancy, but it provided the atmosphere that on the night, it did actually make a difference. And I think if we hadn't have had them, it would have just felt a bit flat. So that definitely helped, and I think they were like £500 or something. But I was in that thing of I was asking around, shall I rent them, and it came so close to just buying them. I could have rented some for maybe £250. I spent £500 or something, just bought them, but I knew again I could use them again, or I could just sell them for £250, and it was the same as me renting them. So I was in that exact same situation there with my own wedding, but I was glad I got some.
I mean, going back to his point, what you should do is ring the venue, see what they've got, first thing. Number 2, you need sound, you need lighting, so you're going to have to find the rent cost. Then you're going to have to speak to your boy and say, either pay me or pay for these speakers. And then number 3, at the gig, no matter what you're doing, take photos and stuff of the gig, just in case you want to use that for your next gig. But you might have to get a bit of a better controller. And again, you could probably rent that off the guys you're renting the speakers off if it's like a DJ company. So they might say there's a £250 bundle here for lights and a Flex for whatever you're using, but somebody's gonna have to pay for that. It might be that the guy booking pays half and you pay half, and you just use that because you want to get some content. Next question: is it normal to feel overwhelmed?
Yes.
Yeah. Next question. I purchased a Flex 4 which arrives Saturday, and I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I get that. I totally understand where he's coming from. Where do I even start? Has any other beginner DJ felt this way? I bought it just to pick it up as a hobby, and I love music so much. It's not like I'm doing a show or something, so I'm not sure what's overwhelming for me. I totally understand, because I was getting back into a bit of production, and I was like, I actually just want to start. I can do Final Cut, I've used that since I was, for the last 15 years. But I was like, I want to get back into Ableton. And then I started watching YouTube videos, and everyone's just so fluent on it. And I'm like, oh my God. And then after that, I was like, I actually don't even want to do this at all. There's too much going on. I'm just going to go stick to what I know. And then what I did is I went on a tool room. I went on tool room course, and then just did the first foundation courses of tool room. And it was so simple, step by step. Like, do this, then do this, then do this. And then now I know how to use it pretty well. And I think this is the problem in it. He's obviously been on YouTube, he's been on TikTok, he's been on Instagram, and been like, fuck. Yeah. Everybody's so good. Yeah. And that's the thing, innit? He got so excited, and now it's like, you can't see the line between this and like James Hype.
And especially when he hasn't got the gear yet. He's building it up in his head of like, oh, I want to make the most of when I get this new thing. I've been desperate for it. And you build it up, and like when it comes through the door, I just want to be like, boom, open it and have the best time ever. And I know exactly how to use it. So he built up this whole thing of, I need to learn it all before I even get the gear. But actually, once you get the gear, then take it step by step and just enjoy the process of discovering it, figuring it out.
100%.
Obviously, we have courses.
no, but that is why. I mean, it's like why you take. It's why courses exist and why people learn differently. Yeah, you can go and learn on YouTube, but then why do thousands of people come to us every year? It's because people like structured learning. You feel. It's to remove the overwhelm. Some people you can just go and you watch a YouTube video and it's like, okay, I can do this now. And some people are just sufficient like that. But it's like losing weight, isn't it? At the gym, it's like I want to lose at like 20 pounds, and you just think, how am I even going to do that? Like, and then you get a program and you go, oh, I'll do a pull session today, a leg session tomorrow, etc., and just repeat. But it's and then when you've lost 10 pounds, you're like, oh, I'll just carry on doing this.
Yeah. I'm going to do a bit of a sales speech here, but for good reason. So when I first started DJing, when we all first started DJing, there weren't really DJ courses around, right? So you're going out there, you're asking people, but you're kind of watching other DJs where possible. But when I started, I was like 14 in my bedroom, so I couldn't even watch other DJs. It was like I just had this gear and I was just experiment, and it took me years and years and years to properly learn to beat match. It took me, until I was playing in clubs to really understand from watching other DJs, like, why do them drops line up? Why does that line up? Like, to understand that phrasing was a thing. And I'm like, I'm already playing in clubs at this point, and I still didn't like understand what phrasing was and why it's important. So that's why all of those like many years of trial and error and trying to figure it out, like I then just packaged into an actual structured curriculum that you follow, because then it's like a cheat code, because you don't have to go through all those years of trial and error. You can take this like foundational and beginner course which teaches all of those essentials in a sequential order that then means you can just focus on creativity. You can experiment and explore, and you're not limited by these like basic fundamentals that feel really like big and overwhelming, or you don't understand why something isn't working, or you're listening to what you're doing and then you're watching other DJs like, why does that sound so good compared to what I'm doing? You don't know the answer. So then just to be a champion of DJ education, it's like by having a structured learning path, and then by being able to comment on any of those videos or lessons and ask the actual tutors specific questions and go, hey, I get this but I don't quite understand that, and then you get a response. And it's like, that support can just fast track everything.
Big time.
Yeah.
But I am also an advocate for trial and error. Like you learn a lot from trial and error, and there's a certain point in DJing where we say go and try these things. Like here's some structure, here's some things that you can try and copy, but then take that and adapt it and just experiment in this way and that way. And there is a lot to be said for trial and error. But just a little sideline.
We are crossfader.co.uk. Obviously,
go sign up. It's free stuff on there.
This one's for you, Danny, as the professional music digger.
Right.
How do you discover music digitally in 2025? How do you dig? I've been a YouTube and SoundCloud digger for most of my DJ career. YouTube has fallen off steeply since it started heavily leaning on queuing tracks I had already heard, plus some resurgence of the lo-fi house tracks it's famous for pushing. So I went all in on SoundCloud. My success with SoundCloud peaked in 2023-24, where it seemed like the algorithm really got my fairly particular taste and suggested banger after banger. But lately, it too has gone on the way of YouTube, heavily suggesting tracks that I've already liked, mixed in with a large proportion of suggestions that are complete misses for me, ranging from meh to I wouldn't be caught dead playing this. I'm not sure where to go next. Bandcamp is fine. I already have a particular artist or label if I have a particular artist or label in mind, but discovering fresh music that I haven't heard before yet that suits my taste is lacking.
Right.
Thoughts?
Right. Okay. He feels strongly about certain types of music by the sound of it, but I'd say one, it depends on what you're playing as to where to look for it. Like personally, I use Discogs, and not just for vinyl, but there's a lot of credits on there of artists and songwriters and stuff like that. So if I find like a specific house song, for example, like I'll look at the credits of that, like who wrote this song or co-wrote it, and then by doing that, you'll find an artist that might just be a songwriter, not necessarily a producer, but you'll find when you look at their back catalogue that they've been parts of all these different sorts of songs that are in a similar sort of sound, maybe on a similar label. And then it's like you find new artists that you like. Or another way that I would do it is go to DJs who do sets on like a good one I found is Hall Berlin, which is just like, so it looks like it's in a bathroom, you'll have seen it. But there's DJs on there that aren't necessarily big, but they're playing really good music. And it's like you find one artist on there and then you go down this rabbit hole of like, what artists do they listen to? Who are they inspired by? And then it's just all these sort of like different branches that come from this one tree that you've found that you like. But then it just takes you down all these different like paths.
What's interesting there, like great tip on the Discogs thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Looking at like who is actually behind these songs. 'Cause it's not usually just the one person that's named on the
never usually
artist title.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing I got from that was that it's not just one platform. This person's relying on an algorithm from YouTube or then an algorithm from SoundCloud to do a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Whereas what you're saying is, use them as your starting point, then find the artists or labels or names to then search
because
further.
what he's asking isn't what he's doing. He's saying, how do you dig for music?
That's
Whereas he's just waiting for it.
Yeah, he's expecting it to come
that's
to
not
him.
digging.
Yeah.
What about like an email list, like in-flight? Do you want to talk about how that works?
Yeah, in-flight's another good one. So, I mean, there's loads of promo services out there, but if you can get on a promotional service for DJs, it's great because you get the music given to you before it's actually released. And there is rules to it. Like you can't just go and start putting them all in your mixes. But, it's good for like radio play or playing them out in clubs if you're doing that, or venues or whatever. You do have to provide a little bit of information about yourself, like saying what you're doing, because they don't just give it to anyone. But it's a good place to find new music, but then it's going to be available to everyone in a few months. So that's the only real benefit of it. But I'd say if you want to dig for music, dig and don't rely on algorithms, because you got to think that there could be 20 other DJs just like you getting fed this same algorithm. So it's like you're all playing the same music anyway. And, we've banged on about this before when it comes to being a unique DJ, is like do stuff that's unique. Do you know what I mean? Like even when it comes to finding new music, like just think differently. Don't just go to the same places that all the other DJs are going to.
Yeah.
I think that's just a good way to do it. And I personally, as a DJ, find one of the most fun things about this is finding music that other people don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
Are we kind of losing the art of curation somewhat? Because 10, 15 years ago, blogging was huge, and there were so many music blogs out there. So there were independent music thinkers who would collate music from SoundCloud, from Hyped, from wherever else, from Bandcamp, and they'd collate it all in like a blog, like a website.
Yep.
And each week they'd be sharing like their latest finds
Yeah.
and stuff. And they were curators ultimately. And because blogs aren't as much a thing anymore and everyone just has a streaming service, we're
Yeah.
relying on an algorithm to be the new curator,
Yeah.
the new blog.
Yeah.
So these daily mixes that get created, it's almost that thing of the more you feed and listen to certain songs, the more it puts weight on those
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
And it takes the curation out of it because it's
Yeah.
just going, oh, you listen to this, you like this more.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Play more, that sort of thing. And
But that's another good point is like find communities as well, like
Yeah.
Discords and Reddit threads and stuff. Like the one I always think about is, so Bicep, the duo, they were just a blog. It was called
Yeah.
Feel My Bicep, and they would just find tunes and share it. And then they eventually evolved into this artist that we now know. But that was a community. Do you know what I mean? So I think getting involved in those and find the people that like the stuff that you like as well.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but I used to love the identification of music group on Facebook. I don't know if there's similar things now where people will post clips,
Yeah.
or they'd like describe a bit of a song,
Yeah,
that's like
and
an
people find
earworm
it.
that they've heard at a rave,
Yeah.
and people would then, and there'd be this whole thread,
Yeah.
and they'd be, they'd finally, hopefully, discover what that song was.
Yeah, yeah.
But even just that in itself is like a really interesting way of like discovering music because you're really thinking about why you like a song or what it is, or
Yeah.
communicating with other people about a certain style of music. And even from that, people might suggest stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's not the song, but then you go and listen to that song, you're like, well, that's a banger anyway, because it's just a random suggestion that is similar to what somebody's maybe thinking about in
Yeah.
a certain style. So
for sure.
100%. An uncool answer to this is, I remember being like listening to a few talks of DJs recently, and they're always like, where do you songs like just so good, like where do you hunt for it? And they're just like, oh, just on Spotify. And the only reason I say it is because no other platform, if your SoundCloud algorithm's off, then there's probably not a better one out there than Spotify. And every producer ever is uploading music to Spotify because they're trying to make music, trying to make a career from it. So the amount of originals and stuff that are on there. And I remember being at the Tool Room. There was Kimmy mentioned it. I remember listening to an interview like Sally C and stuff, and they're like, yeah, just SoundCloud, Spotify just suggests me all the time. And I think it's just like it's a very easy one to just start creating playlists in Spotify via the suggesting if your other ones aren't working for you anymore. And I get it on SoundCloud specifically. I feel like you do go like 1 month on, 1 month off of like good suggestions. You get a good month and you're like, oh my god, and then you're like, oh my god, I've heard all these songs. Like, but
I always use the radio features on both platforms. So
Yeah.
find a song that you
Station.
like and then go create station off the back of it.
Yeah.
And that usually then gives me 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
And those 2 or 3 more create
Yeah.
station
Click-
again. And I just keep clicking through create station. So you're forcing the algorithm a bit more.
Yeah.
You're still like guiding it rather than going, oh, well, none of my daily mixes really vibe. Where do I go next?
Yeah.
It's like that's a good way to kind of like create and use the algorithm to your advantage.
yeah, a lot of people don't know about that. So on the track, click the little 3 dots, little hamburger menu, whatever, and then you can see it says station on SoundCloud
Yeah.
and radio.
Yeah,
go to radio.
Something like that,
Go
yeah.
to radio on Spotify,
Yeah.
and it will basically just suggest all of the tracks that are exactly the same as that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Same as when you make a playlist as well. If you scroll to the bottom of your playlist,
It'll
it'll say
suggest what else to
suggestion
add.
tracks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you find good stuff in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever emptied the dance floor? Yes.
Yes.
Hey, this is a good one. Hey, I'm not a DJ, but I'm looking to buy my first controller and start learning soon. Have you ever played a tune, though, that you thought was awesome, but got a terrible reaction?
Yeah.
Is that an inevitable event which every DJ experiences at some point? Another question. Have you ever got a negative feedback after playing a set live?
Yes.
Do you doubt your skill and music taste after? How do you deal with these situations and stay motivated to keep DJing? It will be great to share your experience. Such a good question, because this will just stop him from becoming a DJ, because he's like, people are just going to hate me.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they will.
All it comes down to is a mismatch between
Yeah.
the music and the crowd.
Yeah, I know.
And it's usually the case. It's not ever because usually someone's like playing bad music. It's just bad music for that crowd.
Yeah. And of course,
Yeah.
you fall in love with music and you think everyone loves your music, and they don't. And yeah, you play songs and you get the looks. And it used to be better. It used to just get a look or something, but now you get the phone scrolling where they'll type something on their phone and it scrolls with a suggestion,
Yeah.
or just calling you shit.
Yeah. I had a bad case of this once where, so this was years ago, it's when Fisher Losing It came out, but you know when it's like, as a DJ, like saying get stuff on promo, it's like you've been playing it for a while, and it's like you're playing people's favorite song before it's the favorite song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was a bit fed up of playing the original. So I was like middle of like student night, like September, peak student time, and I played an edit that I'd found of it, and it just fell so flat. Like everyone was like waiting for like the actual drop, and it was like a different version. I was like, come on, what's going on? Like, there's no one dancing, and then I thought it was sick, but then it just felt so flat. It was awful.
I've told the story before on podcast, but one of my first ever gigs when I was like 17, we used to do under 16s nights when we were like 17, 16. And they used to be packed, right? You used to be in a club in the daytime, and it used to be just packed. And I remember just playing one near Leeds, and it was like a hip hop thing, but soca back then was like a big thing around the community where we played from, like soca, dance hall, rhythms. So I played all the big soca stuff, but then hip hop was big, and it was like going back to like, you know, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, that kind of thing. I just remember playing an Eminem song, and every single person stopped dancing and just looked at me, and they were just like, no. And I was like, what? And I think I can't remember what song it was. It was number one at the time. I thought, yeah, but they were just like, nah,
we are not here for this.
Mate, it's traumatized me ever since. And I was like, and then when I went to, I think I might have maybe played, it might have been 18 at the time, so then I played at a club after, and a few had like got in, and I was like scared to play like any hip hop. But yeah, when you get a tune, you're like, oh, I'm gonna play this tonight, like watch this, and then like nothing happens. It's like standard.
This is why I think it's really important that all DJs, even if they're producers, should go and try and do some like residency gigs, some local bars, local clubs, because it really forces you to understand the nuances of people and their music tastes, because if usually in those for us as resident DJs, you're getting people with 10 different types of people out there in the crowd. Some have been dragged there by the mates. Some like have never been in an underground club before, if it is an underground club, and they're like, it's totally different environment for them. Some people just like the top 40 and just, you know, so you've got all these different tastes, and people don't necessarily even want to be there. They might have been dragged there, like I said, or it's, you know, it's a friend's birthday and they've invited mates out. So you've got to figure out very quickly like what the mass majority is in front of you, but then also how to like keep some of the other segments of people happy without pissing off the mass majority either. And you've got to figure it all out really quickly. And you've got to use your music to test it. So there's stuff that like you've got to play quickly to kind of like test the waters, and then you go, I've built up a vibe around these people in front of me, and now I can expand upon some of this, what I've discovered about them. It's like R&D, like research. You're doing the research there in the moment with the people, and then you've got to lean into it. So it's a very tricky skill. It's something we can't teach very well online, which is why, you know, we were saying earlier, go out, trial and error, get out there and do it, because that's the stuff you have to learn in person. And you have to empty the dance floor sometimes. You have to learn that tune doesn't translate, and it really killed the dance floor.
It can be a very humbling experience.
Sometimes you're so arrogant as a DJ. You're like, oh, I'll just try it. I'll try it next week, and then you do it again. It's like, no. But there's certain songs you'll just love, don't you? And you're like, what happens is you'll play, you'll get it. And you're like, okay, you'll put it at peak time, nothing. You just start moving it earlier and earlier, so you can still play it, but it doesn't really need to go off.
We used to have the bad. Not a bad habit, but there was some nights I used to play it where there was a couple of DJs who would play, and we'd like maybe back to back it the whole night, or we'd take sets. It was up to us, you know. So some weeks we might be like, right, I'll do 2 hours, you do 2 hours, other person does 2 hours. Other weeks we'd be like, shall we, like, you do the warm up and then we'll just like go back to back for the rest of the night, and it's fun, right? Super fun. But in that fun environment, you're almost challenging each other as DJs, and you're taking the energy of it. Almost the booth energy gets bigger and bigger, and all your mates there in the booth, and you kind of throwing a party for the people in the booth. And you look out and you're like, oh, this isn't translating. We need to switch it up, but we're having a great time. But that's not working for all these people, and they're all kind of looking at us like they're all having a great time in that booth, but this is not what we want.
It's like it's your duty and responsibility as a DJ to test the water. Like it should be scary to play a new song. Like that's, otherwise what else, why would we be here? Like, you're not going to play the same set forever. Like, you want to be like, oh, I've no idea what's going to happen here. Like, it's so, and that like feeling is like what DJing is. Like, essentially, like, otherwise I'm just going to play all the bangers like forever. There'd be no new music.
And this is where it's interesting, going back to Mochak. He tried it, and he realized he played a few tracks, he tried it, and then he was like, no, I'm going to switch and go back to what I know because it isn't working here. But you tried it, which is the great thing.
Fair, yeah.
It's a bit of a left field question, but booking DJs for my rave. So I'm currently booking DJs for my rave in August. Hello. And I have my eye out on one certain DJ that is pretty well known in a local scene. She hasn't got back to me yet. I emailed her a couple of days ago. In fear of falling behind and having all other potential DJs booked, I'm looking out for other DJs. Is it okay to contact the DJs, all other DJs already, or should I wait for her to come back first? I don't want to burn bridges in the industry. I mean, you got to look after yourself. Like you can't be like, wait, I'll just wait up until I need like 2 days before the gig before she comes back to me. You need to get your stuff booked, and then you need because I run a promo company. This happened a lot. You have to basically try and book up your schedule, but you can't be waiting around because when you're a promoter, you've got to lock in the date first, and then you're on a deadline, you're on a timeline. And if you don't get a headline DJ, you need to have backups. The good thing is, if you're trying to book a big DJ, usually going through an agent, and the agent will probably have a few DJs that they're trying to like book out or something like that. But you should never be like waiting. Like if you've sent a few emails and a couple of DMs, like move on because you've got a fucking deadline to hit. 100%.
It sounds like as well, like if you start, this person is starting to book DJs, then they want to switch it and go, okay, yes, I've got a deadline for this event. I need to book DJs for this event. But if I'm actively in this business of booking DJs, then you don't want to be thinking about, I just want that DJ. You want to be thinking about making real like relationships and connections. Yeah. So even if you're thinking, should I not reach out to these others and wait for a rejection? Well, actually, you should be reaching out to the others and just making a connection with them, being like, telling them about the event and how good it is, that the rave that you're throwing, and saying like how often you do it. And like, I think they'd be good for my event because of X, Y, and Z, and I think they'd enjoy it, and da-da-da. And it might not be for that specific one that's coming in August or whatever. Maybe it's for next year, but you start to build those relationships and get on the radar of the bigger DJs or the other DJs around, just so that they're like, oh, this person's throwing some sick raves. I do want to be part of that. And it's just putting yourself on the radar and building good relationships, even if you're not booking them for that exact event. You know, you've obviously got a list of people you want to work through, so start building the relationship.
Book all your local DJs as well. First thing, book all of them, because they're the ones that are going to tell all the people around your area that are going to come. So you usually, like, if you early days when you're trying to book somebody, you're trying to get a headliner that is decent enough to pull some bodies in. But then they're going to come and play an hour, so you need to fill the other 6, and you need to do it with the other DJs around like your area that are going to hype it up around the local area and bring people in. 100%. Guys, if you want to learn from Crossfader, just go to www.wearecrossfader. I almost forgot our website. Do we need to say the www?
No, we don't.
We don't, do we?
Not.
I nearly said HTTPS.
World Wide Web.
We had before this podcast, we press record. I'm like, guys, I'm tired. I don't know why. It's hay fever season.
Yeah.
I've had about 10 hay fever tablets and I'm drowsy. But anyway, go to wearecrossfader.co.uk. I'm much more happier inside education, teaching, where you can go and sign up for free. There's a bunch of free tutorials in there, as well as our DJ courses that you can get individually, or you can get the complete DJ package. You can also fill out your custom learning journey, where you can fill out some information about the music you like, the equipment you have, and your goals, and we'll build you like a custom learning journey to get there. There's also like rewards inside from like Beatport, Beatsource, free music packs, Serato, all that good stuff. So it's wearecrossfader.co.uk, https:// Right, tunes. Got Spotify up today, so it's probably gonna get flagged. But I've just in a good. The algorithm's serving me well at the minute. I'm in a good algorithm mode on Spotify, so it's all housey vibes. I think, sort of. Am I up there?
Yeah.
I mean, where should we start? So this is this is a tune that I heard Carl Cox open with at Universe, and I was like, I cannot believe he is playing this song. It's an old school where we're from, like electro-y house vibe that is now brought back, and it's now doing bits.
Is it?
Yeah, it's this.
So this is the original older song.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he play it?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it's there.
This is crazy.
It's not a re-edit or a modern version.
I don't know if it's been redone for like now, because
is it? No, is it? This is a different song.
I think it's a modern.
I know which one you're talking about.
No, you're thinking about a different one.
Yeah, because we were talking about this yesterday.
That's very similar.
It's very similar.
I feel
It changes,
Calvin
like,
and
the last-
Chicken.
Yeah. Kick it off. Yeah, the one you're thinking of is the Africa Bambaataa one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes higher.
Yeah. Because I thought straight away, I was like, I know
Has it
this
got to
song.
have house? No, has it got to have house? Africa, just get up and dance.
Get up and dance. That's
Just
it,
get up
yeah.
and dance. Just play. Just get up and dance.
Play.
Let's just do it now.
Is that even on Spotify? I had to find it on a YouTube channel.
Oh, was it not on
yeah,
Spotify?
Just put Get Up
Africa-
and Dance, Africa Bambaataa. And
Get up.
That one, yeah.
That one there, Club Mix. Yeah.
Oh, and it's someone's version though, isn't
Oh,
it?
it's a different version.
It might be. Wait,
Play.
you lost you.
Sorry. Oh, but it is that vocal.
But it is this.
Oh, is it that?
Yeah.
Not that one, is it?
Right.
If you go on YouTube, it's like just type in African Bambaataa, Get Up and Dance. It's like one of the first ones that comes up. But it's that
It's
tune.
exactly that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
wrong
similar.
With 2 notes different.
Wait a minute.
But it's the same sound as well. That's
Yeah.
what throws it.
I feel like
Oh,
I feel like we talked all over that. Rouge, I Want Your Soul. Banger, right?
I mean, absolute
Yeah.
banger. Yeah.
Absolute.
I like that. I'm hoping house music gets fun again like this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
quite fun. It's
Yeah.
not too aggressive. It's not too like all about the drop.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much house music that's been built around the drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like it's just fun. You can groove to it. You know.
We out in Ibiza. We was having a coffee with Chris, who is the founder of Hospital Records, and he was saying that he wants to like bring out some t-shirts saying "Make the second drop great again."
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So good.
He's got a point.
This is my favourite tune at the minute. This came on at Parklife quite a lot.
This will get flagged. 100%.
Should we just talk lots over it?
Let's talk loads over it.
Let's talk loads over
It's
it.
Max Dean, Luke
Yeah.
Dean.
So go listen to it in your own time.
No, we don't want to put it time.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
So have you heard the original of this?
Oh, is this a remix?
It's like the vocal.
Oh, the vocal, yeah.
From
sorry.
an R&B tune,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course, yeah. Max Dean and Luke Dean are flying in the UK. I mean, like Europe as well. Like, this is like minimal as well, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Just very minimal, deep.
came on a lot of Parklife.
It's not
did,
really
yeah.
for me.
No?
It's interesting though, like these songs, like when I think back to like 2020, so not even that long ago, it's like these were on very underground labels and like would not have been played in a club.
Yeah.
Like not would have been played in clubs, but not like for the popular, like the majority.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was definitely a niche scene. It seems to have
Yeah.
changed direction a lot. This minimal sound.
They were on. They were. I saw a clip of them to Max Dean and Luke Dean on Mr. Jam on Capital.
The Capital one, yeah.
And they were saying like Minimal's just having a bit of a moment. And I know what you
Yeah.
mean. It's a bit. It's Minimals are very like you have to dance to it.
Yeah.
Not have your phone for the drop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
There's no opportunity to capture.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to like just dance and enjoy it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like boom, is it? It's just
Yeah.
like this is the tempo.
That's the vibe.
Just
Yeah,
dance.
it's like we were saying the other day with Parklife on the Sunday. They closed one of the stages early because there was two artists, Josh Baker and Chris Dussy, that it just
yeah.
got overcrowded. That matinee bit, in the middle. So like people pushing over the barriers trying to get in there. It's like they are like minimal house, deep house artists. And it's like for the past few years they've been playing at like Mint Warehouse and stuff, doing like events for the people who are into that scene. But it's like they've like broken past this point of like
Crossed over.
It's for the majority now, and everyone is like loving this sound at the minute. It's very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how long it lasts as well. Like if that sound will stick around.
That is Max Dean, Luke Dean, Can't Decide. I've saved this one, so I must like it. Is it?
Step that, with a step back. Wanna come around, try and kick back. It's that. No, that's the intel, all of that. Wanna come round me, yeah, wanna kick that.
Sounds like a
Little
Splice vocal.
one-liners, liners.
Yeah, it does.
They can take that. Let me just wait for the next drop. Wait, flip that. With a step back. Wanna come around, try and kick back.
Oh, yeah.
It's that. No, that's the intel.
It's like that classic like
Where-
minor ninth chord on a house tune, isn't it?
Little one-liners,
Reminds me of Disclosure again.
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
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 for the next drop. Wait,
It's like where would I go to like
wanna come around, try
to hear this song? Do you know what I mean? There's not many
Yeah.
places where I could go to a club, especially in the UK, where like, oh, yeah, I can go listen to this all night. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
Let me just wait for the next drop. Wait.
it's a banger. This is Flip That by AVSTN.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disclosure. Disclosure.
Speaking of Disclosure, they've done a tune with Anderson .Paak. Have you heard a clip of it?
Oh, I've
Have
seen
they?
the clip.
It is so good. It's like not what you'd expect, but it's bangs.
I mean, Fred again. Is it Fred again and Anderson .Paak, the places to be? Is
Yes, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is up there for me.
Yeah,
So
good
different
tune.
again, but
Yeah.
just a vibe.
This is Excuse Me DJ by Killflake. Oh, where's the build-up? Oh, it's got a great build-up. Here we go.
Nice.
It's got a nice little...
Almost like that. Like
And it drops
electro-y-
off beat as well, and you're like, oh!
That's nice. Where's it going?
No, it drops, it goes... Duh, duh, duh. And it doesn't do much else, but...
Yeah, nice.
Again, sort of the art of simplicity, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you get it right and it just works. Who's this?
Killfake.
This is Killfake, Excuse Me DJ.
Killfake, nice. Yeah, cool. Survive.
Just pumping, innit?
It's getting me ready for Ibiza this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
Hey!
See, like, I'd have enjoyed, like, hearing this at Parklife, that'd have been, yeah, vibe.
Yeah. They work on a big sound system as well.
Yeah.
This is that phone in the air bit, innit? Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I like this.
Nice.
That's sick.
Nice.
Nice find.
Yeah, Killfake.
Well done,
Excuse
Spotify.
me. Yeah, excuse me, DJ. Yeah, what's going on in Ibiza? You got a Universe?
I don't know.
Come on,
go.
go and buy some 80-euro chicken tenders.
I'm not. We're going to Pikes
Yeah.
first night. As we land, straight get changed, go to Pikes.
Yeah.
We've got Sunset Ashram. We've got a boat booked.
Yeah.
A little private boat.
Nice.
We're going to maybe Akasha. So doing like
Vibe, yeah.
alternate Ibiza.
Yeah.
No super clubs on the list.
That's poor from you.
Yeah.
Give me the music.
Ozzy Govan.
Govan.
Sick. He's another one. Been doing it for a while and he's very underground. Oh, do you know what? He had a really good track a few years ago. Let me find the name. You have to
Sounds good in the headphones.
Little offbeat, skippy drums. Give me that.
Double
Are you playing this stuff now then? Or is it in your sets? Yeah.
Interesting.
It's funny, isn't it, how everything just ends up going back to the core, like, dance music sounds.
Yeah.
It tries to get away from it, and then it's like, well,
back.
there's just some, like... It's like, what is the DNA of
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
music? And it's,
Detroit house.
yeah, and just some of those sounds that are iconic.
Nice.
That is nice.
That is really
I
nice.
can listen
yeah.
to that all day.
That is really nice.
Check
That
out
is-
some of his other stuff because he's really good. He's got a song called Doubleholics, which is sick.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
me the music. Ozzy, how do you put it? Govan?
Govan, yeah.
Govan. Ozzy Govan. Last one, Milan, Candy Rain. Yes, it's that Candy Rain.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright. I was wondering that.
I used to love the... It is a sick vocal.
It's such
Yeah.
a good vocal.
It reminds me of the old 4/4 bass line. I think T2 did a remix of Candy Rain. Used to
That
love
is
it
sacrilege.
when I was 14 or something. I mean, is it a house tune if you don't get like an R&B vocal and pitch it down? Like, is
Nah,
it really?
Not anymore. Nice. Little organ like that.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's a vibe. Yeah, yeah.
There's some vibey stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I like that there's not mad build-ups going on. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if my taste is just going towards a more minimal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at the gym. I don't want a fucking
Yeah.
big build up and stuff. Do you? I just like
Yeah.
the vibe out.
sort of vibe out.
That was Milan, Candy Rain, and that was this week's podcast. Go to wearecrossfader.co.uk, sign up for free, and we'll see you next week. Wait a minute, we might not be here next week. I'll tell you why the week after, but we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.